The MoneroTopia weekly news segment is sponsored by WizardSwap.io, a non-custodial cryptocurrency exchange.
So, starting out, we've got a post from... Oh, this page did not load correctly. Let me reload. There we go. We got a post from Lola Leitz, the journalist, and she says, while room temperature IQ bros and busy lobbying for the federal government to buy Bitcoin, Dusty Devers introduced the Bitcoin Freedom Act in Oklahoma. I believe Dusty Devers is a senator for Oklahoma. Yes. In Oklahoma, that actually sets out to protect Bitcoin and its users from government overreach. Not only does the bill formalize for merchants to accept Bitcoin as payment, it also exempts non-custodial services from requiring money transmitter licenses and protects their operators from Bank Secrecy Act applications. The Bitcoin Freedom Act ensures that participation is entirely voluntary, respecting free market principles and empowering employers, and businesses to choose the payment options that work best for them. This is legislation that Bitcoin needs. That's pretty huge, I think. That's pretty cool to see that being put forth. Would be cool to see that get past the Bitcoin Freedom Act. I think that's a step in the right direction. What do you think, Doug? Oh, I guess Doug went AFK. That's okay.
Sorry,
that's really cool.
I was not paying attention. I was doing something. But what was your question?
Just asking what you thought about the Bitcoin Freedom Act I read out here.
Honestly, I don't know much about it. What is the gist? What are they?
It's designed to protect people's ability to use Bitcoin, like as a merchant, protecting them from things like the Bank Secrecy Act and from exempting them from non-custodial services and requiring transmitter licenses and stuff.
Oh yeah, that is love that. Like I've been talking about, I would like to start trying to do that here in New York, right? Let's at least get rid of the bit license. I think that would be a huge step forward. By the way, I'm putting the word out. I'll start maybe doing that on a regular basis. Reach out to me, MoneroTopia at protonmail.com, if you want to help with that initiative of getting rid of the bit license here in New York. If you're a New Yorker, you're into Monero, maybe you get some legal skills, maybe you know the political landscape, maybe you know how to get things done. Reach out to me, MoneroTopia, protonmail.com. This is somewhere where I think Monero lacks, right? Because we're so decentralized and there's no corporation involved, like we arguably see in a project like Zcash.
Yeah, there's not really any legal presence.
Right. There's no fund that's being used to advocate on behalf of Monero from a legal perspective, right? Where nobody's out there lobbying for Monero. And so I know there's this idea, well, we're all agorists, so we don't even want to integrate with the current system. And I think that's a great approach. And I think we're doing that aspect really well. But we could be fighting this war on another front, which is trying to work with and take advantage of the current system, hack the current system, if you will, and get Monero more integrated into it. And one way I think we could make a leap forward in that regard is to simply get rid of the bit license here in New York. Make it so Kraken is here in New York offering Monero on their exchange. Get Monero into the hands of the plebes, right? They could easily get their hands on Trump coin. Let's make it just as easy for them to get their hands on Monero.
Yep, well said. Next up, we have another post from Lola Leitz, and it reads, oopsie doozles, Chainalysis wrongfully attributed almost twice the volume of hacked funds to North Korea than funds it found actually related upon further investigation. The software is used to put people in jail. And as an image from Chainalysis that reads, note that in the last year's report, we published that the DPRK stole $1 billion across 20 hacks. Upon further investigation, we determined that certain large hacks we had previously attributed to the DPRK are likely no longer related, hence the decrease to 660.5 million. However, the number of incidents remained the same as we identified other small hacks attributed to the DPRK. We aim to constantly reevaluate our assessment of DPRK-linked hacking events as we require new on-chain and off-chain surveillance. Yeah, that's pretty, I mean, it's a little bit concerning, but also not surprising. We've seen stuff like this from Chainalysis before, where it turns out that even with how traceable these transparent ledgers and blockchains are, Chainalysis and other chain analytic companies' ability to trace stuff is not as good as what they claim. And their software is some kind of proprietary black magic that we don't get to see, but is also being used to put people in jail for a really long time. So hopefully this will continue to, the sentiment grows against Chainalysis so that there will be some pushback against using them in, I guess, court for evidence. So moving on, we've got a post from Coinbase developer platform announcing the on-chain reputation API now in public beta. Unlock powerful insights into on-chain addresses with scores ranging from -100 to 100 plus detailed metadata. Positive scores reflect strong on-chain activity, like what you see in on-chain score.xyz, while negative scores flag potential risk using on-chain and Coinbase data. So basically, Coinbase is trying to bring a credit score to the blockchain by giving you a score based on a bunch of metrics to see how your on-chain activity stands. If you're a bad boy and you're doing things like swapping for Monero, well, you're gonna be -9 million score. But if you're good and you only use KYC platforms only, and you only use transparent ledgers only, well, you'll be good. You'll be just fine. So nobody liked this. Every single comment is just hating on Coinbase here, totally reasonably, totally rightfully. So yeah, hopefully this gets so much pushback they decide not to even go for it, because that's just disgusting, and it's just like totally opposite of what crypto is supposed to be. Got a super chat here from XMR France. Monero Heart. Thank you, France. Appreciate it. All right, next up, we've got a post from Senator Cynthia Loomis. The U.S. government cannot continue denying the value of Bitcoin and digital assets. It's costing taxpayers billions. I sent a letter to U.S. Marshal Service asking why they plan to sell nearly 70,000 Bitcoin. So this is in regards to the planned sale of the 69,000 Bitcoin seized from the Silk Road case, and possibly another case as well. And it's just some papers from a letter written from Cynthia Loomis asking details about them selling the 69,000 Bitcoin, and I guess why they should or shouldn't. So you guys can read this and leave your thoughts about that. 69,000 Bitcoin is a lot, and I'm guessing there's concern on the price.
Yeah, it's Bitcoin maxis pleading
Yes,
the
they're
US
like, no,
government
please
to
don't
not sell their
don't
bags.
sell, because it's a lot of Bitcoin. It's gonna dump our bags. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's interesting to see, but yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of Bitcoin. 69,000, almost 70,000 Bitcoin. That's a lot. So yeah, I mean, that body could probably give some numbers about what that could potentially do, but yeah, people are concerned about that. Anyway, moving on. The Wolf of Wall Street's posted, Coinbase relaunches Bitcoin-backed loans. Coinbase has reintroduced Bitcoin-backed loans, allowing U.S. customers, except in New York, sorry, Doug, to borrow up to $100,000 in USDC stablecoin
Get rid of that bit
powered
license.
by Morpho, a lending protocol on Coinbase's base network. The loans require 133% collateralized and offer flexible repayment schedules. The relaunch comes after Coinbase discontinued its borrow service in May 2023 during market downturn. With Bitcoin now trading back above 100K, Coinbase aims to expand Bitcoin loans globally and explore the crypto-backed lending options. All right. Yeah, New York, man, that bit license, that's like the real Achilles heel of New York and crypto adoption. Like all the other states have the, the money transmitter license, but the New York bit license, you see companies just decide to just withdraw themselves completely from New York, and only New York, just because of the bit license. So
exactly.
Yeah. It all needs to go, but the bit license is like an extra slap in the face to anybody who tries to operate crypto services in New York City or New York State.
Yeah, I just think it's low-hanging fruit. I think it's something that could be done, given the environment with Trump in office, potentially getting, another red wave here in New York. At some point, New York is kind of swinging back a little bit because things have been so left, so crazy. People are fed up with the policies here. you know, maybe make that part of the swinging back of the pendulum, right? Reducing crypto regulations in New York. Make New York great. Trump talks about wanting to make New York great again. This completely aligns with that initiative. It'd be so easy to do. Just a swipe of a pen from the governor eliminating the bit license.
Yeah, I mean, with the what it looks like is being potentially more pro crypto in the upcoming administration, I see there's potentially a path to that. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, everything's always like a lot of talk, and we'll see what actually happens. Next up, we've got a post from Vlad Costas, a conference about privacy where everyone from VPN services to privacy coins gets invited to speak and hold workshops. No tribalism, no price talk, no shilling, pure tech talk, debates in good faith only, organized in Romania around Halloween. Anyone interested? I mean, it's kind of what MoneroTopia is, I feel like, already, for the most part. Like, yeah, it's MoneroTopia.
Yeah, I was like, Vlad, weren't you just the MC at MoneroTopia last month? You literally just described MoneroTopia, except for the marketplace, which I'm sure, you know, that's a natural. Yeah. So, I mean, this is what MoneroTopia strives to be, and I think we've done a really good job of doing it. I think Vlad even said it was one of his favorite conferences, if not the, you know, if not the best he's ever attended. And he was a big part of that, by the way. He was an amazing contributor to the conference. I knew he would be a great host. And he very much aligns with these ideas of let the best tech win, and he's interested in things for the right reasons. And I understand wanting to create this, but yeah, please give at least give us a nod, right?
Dude, this is
right?
asking too much, to be fair, to tribals and to price talk no shilling.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
yeah, in
people
theory,
naturally like gather around their own project, right? So even if it's,
but
not,
I think MoneroTopia, I think, has done a great job of that, right? We had Nero guy on stage. You know, his entire presentation was criticizing these other projects, that's part of being open, right? So like, that's what you need, right? You need a venue that isn't going to just give projects a platform without them being properly then vetted, right? Is basically what it comes down to. Are people going to naturally have tribalism? You know, yeah, obviously that's, you know, you're not going to be able to avoid that. But yeah, all the power to him.
Romania would be a pretty cool place for.
I wouldn't want to see him doing it, because I think he says in October, in Halloween. I mean, that's like a week away from MoneroTopia. I don't think that would be a good idea. I mean, we haven't really decided when we were going to do it yet, but that's when we did it last year. We did it we just did it this past November. So I wouldn't want to see it be so close to it. Just like we tried moving away from MoneroCon, I think there should be some distance.
Well, when is the next MoneroTopia? I thought I was under the impression it would be in spring of 2026.
We're thinking maybe, like I was saying to Bawdy, maybe trying to do it essentially a year from now.
Okay.
So we could, or maybe February.
So I mean, it still would be.
I would like to delay it as much as I can, just because, you know, we're enjoying.
Yeah, you had a lot on your plate.
We're enjoying Penelope right now, and I don't want to miss out on those things. But that being said, I don't want to lose momentum, and I don't want to do it at a time that's near MoneroCon. So I don't know. Maybe we team up with Vlad. Obviously, this can turn into, Vlad. Yeah, by no means am I trying to throw shade to Vlad.
MoneroTopia 2025, Romania.
Yeah. But we actually talked about doing it in Romania, right? Because we had, what's his name? Was gonna, right? We were considering doing it there. Tony was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know, we were talking about potentially. This was like 2 years ago when Tony came to Miami, or he was in Florida, and he came to the first MoneroTopia, and actually Romania became a potential MoneroTopia spot. So I would love to actually go visit Romania, check that out. So definitely, I would love to see more conferences, especially.
I will say, I think there should be one in the U.S. again, because I mean, there has been historically, but the two ones that were MoneroTopia AmeriCon, they moved to primarily outside the U.S. And I know the U.S. is not the most accessible place, but I still think there should be one here. I think the U.S. is an important place to have a conference for something like Monero. So
Yeah,
I would really
sure.
like to see either one return to the U.S. or like a new one, perhaps.
Yeah, I always think that obviously I would like to try to do Mexico again just to keep the momentum going there. It's the easiest way to do it. We could go off of the, success we've already had with onboarding all the vendors. But then I think Argentina would be great. I think New York would be cool eventually. So
Yeah, and if we're being honest, I think
yeah.
most of the people who went to MoneroTopia probably from the U.S. if I were to guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah, most people that flew in, yeah. But we did have people from all over, people from Russia. We had
Yeah, but
from
people from Europe and there's some people who were actually in Mexico,
yeah.
like Buddy. So, yeah,
All right.
if you want to start a Monero conference in the U.S., hit me up. And let's see.
What's his name going to do his conference again? What was he calling it? It was originally the guns and Bitcoin, and then it became
Finiform?
how Finiforum. What's going on with that? Is he
I have no
doing another
idea.
Finiforum? So that was kind of taking on that role.